Hello and welcome back to Jack-O-Ween. I'm of course your host, Jack Knives. Today let's look at not just one of the best horror movies of 2025, but one of the best movies of 2025. Ryan Coogler's Sinners. In 1932, identical twins and World War I veterans Elijah Smoke and Elias Stack Moore returned to Clarksville, Mississippi with stolen money from gangsters. They decide to buy a barn house to turn into a juke joint for fun and entertainment for their local black community. But they are interrupted by a mysterious band of strangers led by a disturbing Irishman named Remick, who plans to turn the inhabitants into his slaves and manipulate their souls. But as the goal seems clear to make it through the morning, the brothers find out that the gangsters they robbed will arrive at sunrise. Ryan Coogler has made a name for himself in the filmmaking industry as not just a voice for black filmmakers, but probably one of, if not the most successful black filmmakers, helming franchises such as the Black Panther series, the Creed series, and helming some serious dramas like Judas and the Black Messiah. For me, I say this as not just a film fan, a fan of his works, but I feel that he actually tackles serious subjects, especially within the black community, in a way that's not only relatable, but it's actually reflective enough for someone like me who's not necessarily in that community to kind of at least grasp what at least a surface level understanding of what is going on deep within. It's interesting that his movies deal with such serious matters, but it's done in a way that's not heavy-handed. I think of guys like Spike Lee, where he's more concerned with preaching a message and pushing a narrative and pushing a constant simplicity of these people good, these people bad, that he kind of loses the actual aspect of the filmmaking process itself and makes it less enjoyable for a mainstream audience. Ryan Coogler actually holds himself back, which sounds like a bad thing, but it's actually a good thing. It's more of knowing when to push forward that prevents you from being just a yelling voice in a sea of silence, so to speak. Now, what I was really worried about is Ryan Coogler's forte is generally action drama movie, and all of them in some way, shape, or form center or have involvement from Michael B. Jordan. And this movie is no exception. He plays the main lead twin. Luckily, he does portray them enough so distinctly that oftentimes I'll kind of forget that he's one guy. It's the little subtle changes that he does in his performance. When he plays one twin, he's a little more erratic and spontaneous, but not in an overly done way. And the other is more subdued and calm and rational. But it's not in a way that's overdone. I think of movies like Legend with Tom Hardy, where he played twins, in that kind of way where it's hard to play off of not just yourself, but to not repeat yourself when you're playing two characters. I think Michael B. Jordan captured it perfectly. Haley Steinfeld has also made a name for herself as just a great actress, honestly. I really haven't seen anything from her that I haven't liked. And I say that with all sincerity. I've never really seen a role she's done that's been bad. And I've been a fan of her since True Grit, when she was a little kid. So for her to kind of play this raunchy, seductress character, I was like, okay, well, let's see what this can do. But she pulls it off. But a monster movie is only as good as its lead monster. And Jack O'Connell as Remick, whew, he is so good in this movie. I mean, I looked up his whole IMDb, and he really doesn't have a huge catalog as far as his resume. The show Skins, he was in Woman in Black, but nothing that really stood out as a performance. But this, his character Remick, hinges on dark fear of a stranger, and when he looks at you, both know and don't know what he's feeling. He comes off like a shark when their eyes are dilated. And when a shark's eyes are dilated and showing its teeth, You're cautious. You're scared. But you don't want the shark to know you're scared. That. And Michael B. Jordan plays this stoic, serious guy who also has to deal with his own problems with his twin and the conflict of his personal life and all these horrible things with these vampires. Yes, it's about vampires, but there's a lot of subtlety to it in a weird way. Despite the fact that there's a lot of gore and a lot of action, there's some subtlety to it. For example, there's one particular scene I absolutely loved because it was a double context. Remick is an Irishman, and we don't know how long he's been alive, but clearly he's from Ireland. And when the man at the front door asks, "Are y'all with the Klan?" they're referring to the KKK. But he thinks they may be referring to a family clan. And so he doesn't know how to answer. It's little things like that that really makes you go, oh, okay. One of the other aspects about this movie that makes it amazing is the soundtrack. Music plays a gigantic part of this movie. Using it as not just a way of people entertaining themselves, but a way of seduction, a way of manipulation, a way of expression of genres into time itself and into culture. I've rewatched this movie at least 3 to 4 times. I decided not to review it as it came out because I watched it and I go, I have to save this for Jack-O-Ween. It's amazing. It's fantastic. I have to talk about it here to have it fill in line, and I hope I can find some good horror movies that are even in the same ballpark that come out this year as this movie. And granted, I think at the time of recording this, I have about one, maybe. Honestly, I haven't felt an action horror movie quite like this since the first time I saw From Dusk Till Dawn. But with From Dusk Till Dawn, there was a lot of build-up, and it felt like a slap when it turned into a horror movie. This movie goes from drama, crime, thriller, horror, thriller, and all full circle. And the pacing is beautifully done. I don't normally give rankings of movies during Jack-O-Ween because they're more or less recommendations. But if I were to give Sinners 1, it would 100% be a 5 out of 5. Come back next time for some more horror treats on Jack-O-Ween.